Well, hello everyone. We are back out here in Berea, and it's cut down day. From 90 to 75 is what they had to get down to. And there was actually some big news in the form of Big Phil Taylor getting cut. I was surprised because he had a guaranteed contract worth $5.47 million.
Yeah, but don't you think that was the one thing that you thought maybe they would not cut him for? I thought Phil, the couple years that he was healthy, he was good, but he's just had so much trouble staying healthy. And to see him out here in the field, it was hard to sometimes watch him. He just looked like he was in pain. And Mike Pettin was talking about that the other day.
Yeah, he described it as a serious knee injury. You know, Phil had a scope last year in October. He came back, played against the Bengals, and injured the knee again and had to undergo another surgery. He's still coming back from that. I've been told that, you know, by someone outside the organization that he's ready to go now. So if that's the case, someone else will probably pick him up. But I think, you know, what this shows is, boy, you just look at the first round picks dating back to 2011, and there really aren't very many left or playing.
Mary Kay, I think when you go back to 2007, I think when they played the Jets on the 13th, they only have 3 first-round picks on the field, which is, well, 4, excuse me, Danny Shelton. But that is a staggeringly low number, especially in years where they had multiple first-round picks. Right,
and of course, you know, we're talking about 2012 when they had Trent Richardson and Brandon Weeden. Trent was cut by the Raiders yesterday. And then you fast forward to 2014 when they picked Justin Gilbert and Johnny Manziel, and the jury is still out on those 2 guys. But they do have a first-round pick that they're very excited about in Danny Shelton.
Yeah, and you have to think in some ways that really kind of let them say, okay, we really know that this kid's going to be good. It gives you a little bit more comfort for them to go ahead and move on from Phil because of that. It really made Phil kind of expendable. They've had a couple other guys step up that they really like. It was a very crowded defensive line. Ish Kitch got cut today as well.
Right, another nose tackle. But on another note, speaking of those first-round picks, Johnny Manziel came out and talked to us today. Johnny talked about that sore right elbow. He confirmed that he has had tendonitis. We didn't know exactly what we were going to call it until now, but he confirmed that he's had tendonitis in that elbow since he was a freshman at Texas A&M. He doesn't need surgery. He thinks he'll be ready to go for the opener. You know, they're going to have to see about that. But, you know, he doesn't think this will impact him long term.
Yeah, he was saying that he's had it every year, at least a little bit of a flare-up every year. So I guess in some ways you can say, all right, if he's been having it every year, it's, on one hand, it's not too bad because he's dealt with it before. But the fact that he keeps coming back every year, to me, is still troubling.
Yes, and again, I go back to, I talked to Tim Couch, and now I know, now we all know that what Johnny Manziel has, the tendonitis, is the exact same thing that Tim had. And he said the whole key for him was that the tendonitis, the pain in the elbow, caused him to alter his throwing motion because he tried to find a place where it didn't hurt to throw.
Then it ended up bothering his shoulder.
It resulted in what he feels like were 2 shoulder surgeries that caused his downfall. So, you know, his advice was shut that thing down and do not throw on it for a long time.
Yeah, and the one advantage, of course, now is as we go into the regular season, assuming, of course, that Josh McCown doesn't get hurt, Johnny won't have to throw as much, certainly won't be throwing in any games for a while. Maybe that gets him enough rest to kind of get him back and going again.
Which comes back to my point. Keep Terrell Pryor not only for his ability, his potential at wide receiver, but for the opportunity for him to throw the football on scout team and at other times to help Johnny rest that elbow. So lots of news out here today on the Cuts to 75. We're getting ready to go to Chicago for the final preseason game, and we will have it all right here for you on cleveland.com.